This video is going to be my first edition of One Play Wednesday for this week. We're going to focus on a really well-designed and orchestrated lateral scheme that the Seahawks used late in the second quarter of their 42-29 loss to the Lions. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, JSN, is going to lateral from one side of the field to the other to find Zach Charbonnet wide open in the flats and really take advantage of the Lions' coverage and reaction to the football being thrown to one player, which is what defenses do. They pursue to the football. This really takes advantage of defensive players' instincts. I'll also spend a moment talking about a really anomalous and interesting coverage that the Lions used a couple of plays before with their boundary side inside linebacker Alex Anzalone. And then finally, we'll take a look at a wheel follow play. Some of the unique passing schemes that I thought Grubb threw out there on Monday attacked the Lions in specific ways. And he's got a really, I think, well-designed pass game. Yes, it comes from the college game. Geno Smith, if you ask me, is thriving in this role of identifying coverages pre-snap, in some cases changing the play or changing the side or direction of the play. But here's the first play here's the actual one that I want to break down, and I'll come back to this after setting it up a little bit. So underneath drag to JSN, who laterals across the field for Charbonnet. I think JSN gets 3 yards on the gain, and then Charbonnet gets, I think, 16 for an overall gain of 19. When the lateral occurs is really interesting because it's a little closer than it appears in terms of being exactly parallel with the line of scrimmage. The ball does not travel at that angle that I just drew there. It actually is really close. I don't want to say to being a forward pass. It's really close to being parallel. I'm not sure if anyone else picked up on it. When we come back to it a second time here in a moment, I'll maybe stop the film a couple of more times so you can check it out. I'm going to rewind a little bit here and just set the stage for that. This is a 1st and 10, 4 minutes left in the second quarter. The Lions are up 21-7. We're before the third quarter where these two teams exploded for 27 points and I think 360 yards of offense in the quarter, maybe 365, something like that. So the Lions bring a blitz from the top side with Malcolm Rodriguez, an inside linebacker that they use in pass coverage a lot. It's a simple blitz off the edge. Why does it work? Because Aaron Glenn went absolutely insane with the design on this one because he drops an inside linebacker, Alex Anzalone, to a half-field safety. Very rarely seen in the NFL, if you ask me. So these two players here are connected, Onwuzurike and Anzalone. The string relationship starts here. You got a blitz off the edge by Rodriguez. Anzalone, who's an inside linebacker, is going to drop to half-field safety. It's a 2-deep, 4-under coverage. And then the last part of this is Onwuzurike getting out of here, dropping to the right hash, essentially replacing Alex Anzalone's drop. It's a 1st and 10, like I said. Ends up being 2 deep, 4 under. And Geno Smith has a free rusher off the edge, in this case, Malcolm Rodriguez. I'll cover this actual play a little bit more in detail on One Play Wednesday that'll focus on it. I think it's a really cool scheme. I'd like to see teams use it more often. I think it's the kind of thing that you can probably be used once or twice a game to fool a quarterback / offensive coordinator, but it creates or sets up the situation where the Seahawks rely on the lateral. So the ensuing play is a throwaway from Geno Smith, whereby it sets up the 3rd and 16. Lions are in a typical coverage at this point. Nothing crazy going on like an inside linebacker dropping to half-field safety at all. Geno Smith seems to be looking to his right, top side of the screen, where I think Jalen Reeves-Maybin and Alex Anzalone are able to pass off the tight end, and then Reeves-Maybin get out to the flats to deal with the running back in the case of Zach Charbonnet. Geno doesn't think he has anything back here. He's already off of this read, already moved off his spot because of the pass rush, so play destroyed. Looks like the Lions are getting ready to get a stop late in the second quarter. At this point in time, I'm thinking this is good for the Lions because they're up 2 scores. The Seahawks got the ball first to start the third quarter, so Detroit needed a stop to possibly build a 3-score lead. So here we are back to that situation that I talked about. I want to illustrate the blocking scheme, really reminiscent of a couple of plays I've seen the Ravens run before. So first time through, notice DK Metcalf orient himself to block and force the defenders into that direction. Because he, DK Metcalf, knows where the football is going to go eventually. Look at his setup right now, a typical block, but watch what he does, turning and ensuring that Carlton Davis III can't get out there past the bottom of the numbers. He's basically created a wall for Zach Charbonnet to flow through, downfield lateral screen almost. Now this time through, notice how the Seahawks are getting this done from an offensive standpoint. 3rd and 16. So I think this is Lockett and Fant are both going to release, and they're going to try to just wall off defenders and force them to stay on this leverage side such that JSN can run underneath, unobstructed, catch the football cleanly, get to the middle of the field, draw the defense, specifically boundary side inside linebacker who's unblocked. It's almost an option play, really. If the boundary side inside linebacker is here in man, my suspicion is JSN's just going to take off on a downfield screen. It's not illegal blocking, if you ask me. I understand that some people may not like it. The fact that the Seahawks, in the case of Lockett and Fant, are blocking downfield. The ball is caught before they start blocking, before they actually make contact. I think you've got an option lateral scheme with a really nice block to the X side, off screen to our right by DK Metcalf. I'll run this through one time on the end zone angle so you can see what I'm talking about with Fant and Lockett. They haven't touched these guys yet, but they are certainly setting up to block and give Anzalone and Amik Robertson something to deal with. Beautifully designed play. I have a couple of other of these to run. I won't do it in this video. I'll do it for members that are on my Patreon. Stuff from the Ravens in 2021. I think the Saints in 2022, where downfield laterals are clearly revealed because of the blocking scheme. Well, post-snap, we can see them and understand them. But during the play, the Lions are just reacting to the ball being thrown underneath on a 3rd and 16. So the last play that I'll show here is actually 2 plays after the lateral. It's a wheel follow, and it's incomplete to Fant. A great play by Jack Campbell. I'll let the end zone angle flow through one time. Campbell is right here. 13 personnel by the Seahawks. And you've got 2 wheels with basically a clear out route. This tight end, I think Barner, is bringing his route in, just trying to hold this safety and occupy him. And then the 2 wheels is Fant and Kenneth Walker III. I'm only showing you the end zone angle here so you can see Jack Campbell getting his hands up at the last second to deflect the ball. I thought there was a chance that this would be intercepted. We're at the 2-minute warning. It's popped up in the air. We'll go back to the All-22 one time so you can see the nature of these 2 tight ends routes and how it works with Kenneth Walker III. Now, Walker III and Fant perhaps shouldn't be so close together. They're damn near hip to hip as they're running through. I've seen wheel follow before, and whereby the inside wheel acts as a shield concept on the play side inside linebacker. So the idea is to get a little bit more horizontal separation between Fant and Walker, and Fant would bring his route in a little bit such that it walls this defender off on inside leverage, and Walker's wheel is almost at the top of the numbers, and then you've got an inside leverage, a clean lane to throw inside leverage to Kenneth Walker III in here, because the other 2 defenders, the front side safety and the front side inside linebacker, are occupied by the 2 routes that I've talked about by Barner and Fant. It's not the way it works out. These 2 guys are kind of almost stacked together. It's pretty obvious Geno Smith was actually targeting Fant, so that concept I just described doesn't seem to be inherent as part of the design here. That's my experience with wheel follow from a run and shoot standpoint. I think that if Geno Smith is got some separation between these 2 guys, then you might have an opportunity to actually get it to Kenneth Walker III. This play wasn't necessarily the idea or the focus of this video. It's the lateral from JSN to Zach Charbonnet. Just like so many interesting concepts that I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years when I've been blessed enough to try to break down NFL film, I expect to see that exact play again this week by some other team. It's a copycat league, that's obvious, and things that work are going to be recreated. And I have actually witnessed that dynamic. I think that you're going to see someone run a lateral off of a downfield screen that is essentially an option sometime soon, probably in week 5. If you guys enjoy One Play Wednesday, please let me know in the comments section. I know that some people really do and others do not. They're designed to be shorter videos where I focus on one concept or one play. In this case, I broke down 4 or 5 because they all occurred in the same time sequence and I thought they were interesting. Appreciate you guys' time.